We're talking big tech earnings. Meta's up next after the close. As I mentioned, the stock up nearly 155% so far in the year. Kevin, it seems like Mark Zuckerberg, you've said this repeatedly, has become a good CEO. Year of efficiency. Will that continue? They've been cutting costs while their numbers as far as people on their platforms continues to expand. The digital advertising market's still robust at this point, and this is a leader. Nearly 3 billion monthly active users on their platforms.
Cost cuts, along with a little bump in advertising revenue, is kind of a perfect storm, the good way for Mark Zuckerberg. But you're right, he finally got the idea. And let's see, Tom, in their conference call, how much he mentions the metaverse.
Because zero.
That's the over. The over-under is 0.5. Yeah. So if he answers it once, that would be over. So, here's my only problem with Meta right now and the run that it's had. September 30th of last year, the PE was 12.9. Now it's 36.
Yep.
So all the deals, all the blue light specials on Meta are gone out the window. So they have to show it's digital ad spend, right? Their cost cuts, they're going to be there. They're going to mention probably more the year of efficiency, but it's got to be ad growth. They got to show good numbers on ad, but they have the ability to do that, and they have users. You can't argue with the fact, good market, bad market, their users have stayed there.
Yeah, and Nick, one of the thorns in the side of Meta previously was the monetization of Reels. It's become more popular. I'm hearing that it's really starting to take a dent out of TikTok at this point, even without the widespread banning of TikTok, which was expected. But they did just get California 33 attorney generals filing a lawsuit against them, basically stating that they marketed towards teens and younger generation based on a lot of the things that they were doing. That's, another regulatory hurdle that they always seem to get over at this point. But give me your take here on Meta, and you've got an example trade.
These companies are always going to be a target. Google antitrust, cases are always out there. Is it damaging for younger children to be on devices? My kids are 5 and 8, and it's a very interesting thing for parents, right? They're not. My little ones certainly aren't on Facebook, but if they don't know how to use a device, that's kind of weird now too, right? It's not like how we grew up, guys. So I think it's challenging, and these companies are always trying to make a dollar on this stuff, and that's tough. We're certainly not selling cigarettes to minors, right? But it is changing the way their brains work. So look, this case has. So I read some about it yesterday. Has some legs, but the question is going to be, what's it really going to do to dent Facebook and sort of the stock market perspective on here? So put your personal feelings aside. We're $80 off of the August 21 high here, right? $80 only, right? 384 was the high, and we're right back to those levels. And the rebound here, to your guys' point, is crazy. Just be careful on that PE, because we're not seeing the highest PE we've ever seen in some of these big tech names. So it's come a long ways, really, really fast. A sharper downturn, yeah, maybe, but you think about people starting to cut back on things, and they can sit at home on Facebook for free and still get their entertainment, right? I think that they have a pretty surprisingly all-weather business model, and I think people have been surprised by that for a while. And when you hear things like Snapchat saying, hey, ad spend isn't great, I'm looking for kind of that contrast here. What's Facebook telling us, or what's the big dog in the room say about that? And because we've seen this story before where people pull away from smaller platforms and allocate all their dollars towards the larger platforms, and Facebook certainly is the biggest. So, they certainly have that position of strength, and I think that's going to be interesting. Yep. The one spot I could see Zuckerberg saying, something about metaverse and sort of AR, VR in general. The Vision Quest is out there. Apple's announced a product, right? So there could be something there. If their expenses are low comparative to what estimates are, I think he could rekindle that a little bit. He could be saying, look, expenses are under control and we're still exploring all of these avenues. And maybe that gets us to a point where, they're still seen as a growth company from here with the elevated PE you mentioned. So I think there's a chance he could say it, but it's got to really fall in line with the numbers. They've got to have a pretty sizable beat and expenses really under control if he's going to talk about it.